Okay, so we are team Crackonomics and we were the champions of last year. And it feels great to be back here at EconProdigy now at the other side of the stage. I remember last year I was just sitting among the participants and could feel the adrenaline rush, the pressure to give my best and get the best results. And I feel our journey was really great. If I had to talk about my journey, Sadat sir has already mentioned that he has given the entire details of how to actually solve the policy making competition about this year's theme, which is equity, inclusivity, and sustainability. We will be talking more about how was our experience in the past competition and what are the strategies that we took, which actually led us winning the competition. And I would also like to say that Sadat sir was one of the judges of our round 2. So it feels great to have him here again. Let's have a brief introduction of how our team formed. So practically we three did our classes in A-levels together, and we three are from three different institutions actually. And none of us, we two are from BBA background, and Adib is actually from economics. He's currently studying economics as well. And one time I was actually talking to Siam that EconProdigy 6.0 is coming. And since we actually had economics in our syllabus, why not give it a try? And I swear, we had no intention of winning. We literally took part in it just for fun to find out what the competition is about. It was buzzing at that time. There was lots of promotions going on, and I was seeing EconProdigy competition slides everywhere in my feed. So I was like, let's take a part, let's take role in this and let's see what happens. And after winning it, we were like literally shocked because we didn't expect to win it, right? Okay, so a brief intro about who I am. So I did 10 competitions or more competitions, but I actually won just one, which is this EconProdigy, which was last year. And after that, my luck went downhill, I would say, but I had a lot of fun participating in the competitions because I feel that more about winning, competitions are about learning. And it actually enhanced my learning curve a lot. I got to work with industry people, I got to know the real world insights, and it will definitely help me in future in my corporate work. And I usually talk a lot, so Adil and Siam want me specifically to finish it as soon as possible and not to bore you guys, so I'll keep it very short. So can we move on to the next slide? Okay, so there were lots of questions about how to make the slides because this is a policy competition slide. So EconProdigy, since it's a policy competition slide, it is different from your normal ad making or business competition slides. Over here, there will be of course a slide limit. I remember last time we had for round 1, there were 3 tasks. And we had a slide limit of 12 slides, and I'm pretty sure this time also the format will be more or less the same. So keep your slides basic. You do not need to make very fancy slides. You just need to make sure your slides are neat and clean. Your slides are visually appealing, and since it's a policy competition, you need to explain your points because first round is online submission. Your judges will be just reading your slides. They will try to understand the points you mentioned in the slides make sense, and make sure that you present your slides in such a way that it's understood at one go when the judges read the slide. Give your point, explain it, and give the impact of your solution. Like the point you're placing is does that actually solve a problem that is mentioned in the case? Is your target audience being met? Remember, the solution is not about what you think, or the solution is not about what should happen. It's about the people that are actually facing problems in the economy, the current situations that are pressing in the economy. Is your solution enough to meet those problems, to mitigate those problems? And do not make it too much worry. Again, since it's a policy competition, you have to, one of you asked a question to sir that since there is a slide limit, how can we include all the information within this slide? So keep it to the point, I would say, not too much information, but not too less. Make sure that whatever you say is catering right to your audience. The objective is clear, the point is clear, and the judge clearly understands what the problem was about and what your solution is. Okay, now the resources. Salah sir has already mentioned that there are many resources which you guys used to use, but these were the resources that we three actually followed. There is SANEM, there is the Economics, IMF, NBER, and Bangladesh Bank, Bangladesh Bureau of Statistics. All of these are the websites which we use for research. Now there are a plethora of information available in these websites. You do not need all of this information. The case that you will be provided, there will be 3 or 4 problems in the case. There will be data. There will be, as far as I can recall from our time, that there will be specific objectives which you have to cater. So make sure whatever information you give or whatever information you gather is relevant to your cause, not unnecessary information. And give data as well, but make sure your data supports your decision or supports whatever evidence you are providing. And from all of these resources, the information that you will use, make sure to cite them at the end, because now, of course, we have ChatGPT, we have other AI tools to help us, but make sure that whatever information you give, that doesn't sound superficial and it doesn't sound fake. Okay? Okay. So I will be taking you all about my round 1 experience. So during our time, our topic was inflation, instability, and innovation, and our round 1 was focused mainly on inflation and how what are the factors behind the issues. We were given a few problems in our case, and if I had to just show you the problems. Okay, so these were the 4 issues that we had in our case. These issues were not specifically mentioned. We read the entire case. Okay. One thing that I would again like to say, in such policy competition, it's very important that you read the case line by line. You understand the case. In normal other discoms, we tend to usually just skip through the case. But for this, you need to make sure that you understand your case perfectly, and there are no loopholes in the case. And then identify the 4 issues. So from our side, these were the 4 issues that we identified, and these were the proposed solutions. The crawling peg system, how we can reform the monetary policy, use of contraction fiscal policy. I'm sure Adit can say a lot about the crawling peg system, so I'll leave that for him. And our main solution was Operation Thrive framework. So we did a lot of research. We were juggling through Google Docs. There were, if I'm not wrong, 5-6 Google Doc tabs open in all of our laptops at that time, and we were like literally researching for 2 days non-stop, because we wanted to make sure that whatever data we give is accurate, it's right, and our solution is completely solid. So we actually came up with a name which is Operation Thrive. Now what does this mean? So this is actually a slide of our round 1 presentation last year. Okay, so before coming to the slide, I would like to say, when we were participating, none of us were that much expert in slide making, and many of the juniors or many of my friends knocked me for Apu, apne slides ke likte jache na, because slides pe likte padte. But I was actually telling them that what slide will we give them, because I remember the slides that we made in our time, those were really basic, really not up to the mark, I would say, but our ideas were solid, our ideas were backed up with data and information. So that's the main thing, guys. Keep the slides as neat as possible. It doesn't need to be too much fancy, but make sure your ideas are really good. So this was our solution, and we carried this solution till the final round as well. Since the theme was inflation, instability, and inclusivity, this time the theme is also equity, sustainability, and inclusivity. The theme stays the same. The core problem will change. There will be 2 or 3 new additions in your final round, in your second round, but the core theme remains the same. So make sure the solution you are picking in your round 1, when you go to your final round, the solution still stays the same. But what are the shifts in the changes in the case? What are the expected solutions that you will tailor according to your final round? Just change those, but keep your core solution the same. Okay. So this was our solution for round 1, round 2, round 3 during our time, and it basically says that practical handling to regulate inflation and value endurance in Bangladesh, that we identified that inflation was not actually because of global price wars, because prices were rising globally, but it was actually due to syndicates, due to the presence of too many middlemen in our society, due to the presence of inefficient handling of goods and services, due to the presence of hoarding of goods and services, and how together with private mechanisms and government we can actually solve those issues. So we focused on those areas in round 1 and talked about those in our final round as well. So if I have to conclude about what you have to do in your round 1, I would say make sure that whatever solutions you are giving, it stays relevant to your cause, it stays relevant to the objectives that you have to deal with in your case, and those are not just practical on paper but actually in real economic scenario as well. You can implement those policies, because at the end of the day, if you cannot implement your policies, then they are of no use, right? What's the point of the policy if it just stays on a paper? So more or less about my previous experience of round 1, I would say this was it. My teammates will guide you through the theme of this year. So over to them.
Assalamualaikum everyone. So my name is Siam, and just like Rahmi, I have did the same number of competitions, but luckily I didn't team up with them for one competition, and I did one station this year, which was organized by Rajshahi University Business Club. So as Rahmi has already stated that we are actually friends from A level, so we actually had a very good bond right from the very start, and we are hopefully trying to carry that bond through our education life and also our job life as well. So as Sadat sir has already mentioned, he has gone through deep into this year's theme of equity, inclusivity, and sustainability. I will be just giving my thoughts and what are my and what I think and how would I have approached if I were in your place this year as well. So before diving into those three parts, we have to identify what are the problems that has been going in Bangladesh as well as other countries. As Sadat sir has already said, before jumping into policy, we have to compare and contrast why our policy might work and might be best fit compared to other policies. For example, Bangladesh has been going through youth unemployment and inequality. Then there is climate vulnerability. Then there is the depreciation of taka against almost every other currency nowadays. And there is another very important, which is persistent inflationary pressures, which is always consistent over the years. So first we have to identify these recent problems, and then we have to act which policy will be the best fit. So for equity doesn't always mean like you have to give every person the same stack. It is like when we empower the rural entrepreneur, we empower the national economy. So we have to take care of our rural entrepreneurs who have very little investments, who have very little help from the banks or any other financial institutes. Then we have inclusivity, where Sadat sir already mentioned, like leaving no one behind. We have to take each and everyone into consideration and move on. And that is how we can actually have a resilient economy, where resilient actually means the ability to withstand any crisis. So Bangladesh has always been going through crises like high taxes, political instability, then other huge personal factors. So we have to, for a resilient economy, we have to maintain these three on a similar level. And sustainability in every sector, as we are seeing nowadays, sustainability has been the most trendy term. So even in accounting, as I study in accounting, there is new laws, international accounting standards for sustainability, where they are taking sustainability into financial statements. So this is a big factor now. And sustainability is not about just planting trees; it's about rooting and planting good policies. So for a country, like if you will be giving the cases, you have to focus mainly on sustainability. So you can give policies which are sustainable for the country, not only for the future 5 years, but also for the 10 and 15 years. Because when an economist implements any policy, they always they always give their trajectory for 15 or 20 years, because that's when the implementation actually comes fruitful. So I've created a separate slide for sustainability because it is that important, because Bangladesh ranks among the most climate vulnerable countries. Then there is a need to transition from linear to circular economy, where we can use the triple R models, not only for planting trees and keeping a healthy environment, but also keeping a good environment for policy implementation. We can reduce the dependence on external debt. These are some of the points that you can actually include in your cases. Then there is institutional sustainability, where we can strengthen governance, rule of law, and corruption control. And I hope that when you will be doing your research, we'll go and you will find further cases and articles on these topics. So I'm going to end my part with just a quote, like, think not just an economist, but as policy architects shaping an equitable future. So you just can't always rely on articles and everything. You have to combine and say that which policy fits the best for your particular case. And that's all from my side, and my teammate will be continuing with the work. Thank you.
Hi, Adit. Actually, this is the slide I just got. Uh, Not much of an introduction. So I'm Adit from Brack University. I am majoring in economics and finance. I obviously won EconProdigy, also I won't be here. I also won out at my university, and recently I guess I was a finalist at EcoLize, organized by NSU as well. So I just want to show you something else. I never got a chance to thank EconProdigy because that really set a new track for me. Can you just Google Google it. Yeah, maybe that one, yeah. Can we scroll down a bit? So this is actually a task force report chaired by K.S. Murshid. Some of you may know him, some of you may not. So can we scroll down more? So here's can we keep it here? So here are some of the authors. We have Munzur Hussain, we have Hamida Khatun from CPD. Can we scroll down a bit more? So we also have Selim Ryan from Sanem. So they were part of this amazing team. Can we scroll down even further? So luckily, because of EconProdigy, I got this wonderful opportunity to be part of that team as well. And can we scroll down even further? So more than the upper page.
I think we should stop at his name. Yeah.
No. I think we should look at the university. I think I was the only one from private university, and I just want to show that if I can, you guys can do as well. Maybe I did it in Bangladesh. Hopefully, you guys do it somewhere else, probably at UNDP or even Texas. So I never got the chance to thank EconProdigy and NSU, but thank you. Because of you, I got this wonderful opportunity. Can we go back to the slides? So please, take this seriously. It is actually the biggest inter-university policy-making competition. Upper slide. So here are some of the pictures you want to see. We have, that's me at the corner. Will it work?
Yeah.
And yeah, that's me as well. And that's KSR. Maybe Sadak sir knows him well. So back to the main topic. So we know what equity is, we know what inclusivity is, we know what sustainability is. But more than that, what we should really focus on is how to actually approach that. We need a framework to how to actually like tackle questions. And for that we need a guide. So how to actually like figure out what to do, because we can just like take information from ChatGPT and just post it. So we need to ask questions. As economists, we should always ask questions. Economists are not there to create an utopian world, but we should question and critique everything. So when we work on equity, question who actually benefits from this proper policy. Are there anybody left out or harmed? We learned about consumer surplus, we learned about producer surplus, we learned about tax incentives. Some of them are benefited, some of them are harshly marginalized as well. So that's very important to know how to approach it like an economist, like a policy maker. And I have included inclusivity in equity as well, because to teach you that, to remind you that economics is all about interconnectedness. Everything is interconnected and correlated and related in one way or another. So are marginalized group explicitly considered or not? Are women properly represented or not? Are minorities ignored or not? So this is the things you have to keep in mind while making your first presentation slides for round one. So for guiding question sustainability, I think CM covered enough, Rami as well, about why sustainability is very important. So I want you to think about its trade-offs. Are we thinking about the quick fix solutions and sacrificing the long-term resilience or not? Are we properly doing the cost-benefit analysis or not? So that is very important. You need to keep in mind while approaching this. And for evidence and indicator, this is something I will talk about the next round as well, because without data, you cannot back your solution as well. So that is something very important. Be it qualitative, be it quantitative. You need evidence to prove your point. By the way, do you guys read newspapers? Raise your hand if you read newspapers. Yes, that's the only thing I'm here for, to make you read newspapers, to create a habit of you reading newspapers, because that is what actually helps. It doesn't matter which field you go. If you want to be an investment banker, if you want to be an economist, you need to read newspapers and actually take information from it, because that actually helped us to win. Without reading newspapers, we could never ever clear round one as well. And yes, think like an economist, not like Karl Marx, but think like an economist. What would an economist do? Ask yourself. If you're stuck, ask yourself, what would an economist do? Because you will be marked by economists. Your mark scheme is prepared by an economist. So always remember to think like economists. Not as a business graduate, not as any other major, but only as an economist. So try to be a quasi-economist for this case competition if you're from other major. I've been specifically told to talk only about round one, but a lot of you were asking to give a bit of advice on how to actually approach round two. So I will be covering a little bit for how to actually do a debate. So what actually wins the debate? It's the one who makes the complex simple and the simple convincing. They win. So how do you do that? Remember we talked about evidence and facts and indicators. Facts can never fit in it, because facts are actual information. It cannot be rejected or refuted. So come up with facts to back your argument, because that's actually what will win you an argument over your opponent. So always take care of your data and your facts. So we were asked to handle high inflation, market relegation, IMF loan conditionality. So this is the thing we had to tackle, and we came up with a unique solution about crawling peg, and that was actually implemented for a while, and then it was rejected. So this is economics. An idea will be rejected, it will be critiqued, it will be implemented, and then absolutely rejected later on. The last part will be covered again by Ram. So let's welcome her once again.
Okay, so just like 2 minutes, guys. Yeah, can you have a round of applause for Arti, please? Okay, so when you reach your final round, again, the case will be similar to your round one. The theme will stay the same, and put the main emphasis on research. Research as much as possible. Make sure the data you collected is good. When I was in my final round, I actually took my solution to one of my professors at DU, and I asked him. He was also an ex-governor at Bangladesh Bank, and I asked him that, sir, this is my case. This is a problem that we were asked to deal with, and this is my solution. Is it right? And according to you, what do you think is the main cause of inflation? At that time, he gave me a very interesting word, which is greedflation. And in our final slide, we mentioned this word not once but twice. Once at the beginning and once at the end. So that the entire audience, the judges, they stay intrigued to this one word, which is greedflation. So if possible, try to gather or try to make such words which will captive the interest of your judges, of your audience, and make them stay connected to your presentation the entire time. And in your final round, if possible, seek advice from your teachers, from your seniors, from others, because as Adib said, that do this seriously, and it has a lot of potential as well because it's economic policy competition. You not only win the competition, you learn a lot along the way. Like as for me, and see, I'm here from non-economics background. We just studied basic economics in our A levels. And after that, we did not have any connection with economics whatsoever. But thanks to EconProdigy, we actually had learned a lot about how the policy is working, about the different instruments that are being currently used in the economy, about what are the policy drivers, and many other things. And I would also like to thank Yev for giving us the opportunity for coming here, and also at our time as well, they supported a lot. I would also like to thank Shadman if he is here. He has won more competitions than we ever did, and Shadman was really helpful in our time as well here also. And with that, we would like to conclude. If you guys have any questions, and I think we are falling behind time, so we'll just take 3 or 4 questions, and that's all from our end. Thank you so much, guys. So no questions?
Hello, this is Nika from AIUB. So I have a few questions. I missed quite the slides that you guys presented. So firstly, my question is that in the first round, what was the most difficult thing that you guys faced, and that we should, if you guys have any suggestion that we should be working on it, সবচেয়ে difficult কি ছিল? Or secondly, you guys talked about collecting data with honesty and we should work on that. So how did you manage to collect data within this short period of time? Did you just take data from maybe VSS or did you like physically go and also try to collect data?
I think the first challenge for round 1 was me. I was out of Dhaka. So managing me was the biggest challenge. And what was your second question? Oh, about the first, I think you should focus on teamwork. Having a team at one go and working around the clock. That's the best thing I can say to you. And what was your second question?
Like, what about the data? How did you guys collect the data that you guys worked on?
So basically...
You worked on secondary data, purely on secondary data, or...?
Yes, we purely worked on secondary data. And how did we use that data? That's more important. It doesn't matter how you take it from, where you take, yeah, it has to be from reliable sources, but the use of data is much more important.
So there are many sources, right, to take the data, and there are a plethora of information, but you do not need to know all the information for your round 1, or you do not need to use all the information that you find out. So you have to actually read, and in a short span of time, it's all about managing teamwork. We actually have another member in our team, Taran, who could not join us here today because he's very sick. So he actually helped us a lot in our research work. And even my main task was about the researching and everything. And I remember I spent sleepless nights just glued to my screen, finding the right information that what is currently happening. So I'm pretty sure you guys will get the case by today, right? I'm hoping that you guys will get the case by today. And the registration, the deadline will be for about 2 or 3 days. That's the usual time span that we also had. So whatever time you get, make sure that you first complete your research. Trust me, 90% of your work is done if you have completed your research, if you have jot down the points which you need to know for round 1 and present all of those in a Google Doc first. Simplify your information and then work on the slides. Slide meeting will take hardly an hour or 2, but make sure your point, your explanation is spot on. So yeah, that's what I would like to say.
Hello. First of all, congratulations on winning last year. I'm looking at my competition here. It's a lot. So it's a big thing that you guys won last year. So one thing I want to ask you guys is, what is one thing or maybe a couple things you can share that we will face? There's one problem or maybe something we'll face only when we're doing it, or we limit our research, or something that most people don't talk about.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Basically, if you have any advice that about problems, obstacles we'll face, not until we are actually doing something. It's obstacles that people don't talk about, or never heard what you face during your research.
I think the biggest obstacle is that having too many information, like Rahman said. That when you research something about a particular topic, it's just way too many information comes up on your screen. So you don't know which one to cherry pick out. And I specifically remember leaving out a lot of things which were covered by other teams and we did not. We focused on one particular thing and we presented that and convinced them that. So I think that's what sets you from others. So it's cherry picking the right ones.
If I had to add to that, make sure that you all do teamwork. As Adib said that in round 1 he was out of Dhaka and he was actually busy. So in round 1 it was actually weekly we had to carry out the rest. So even if one of your member gets stuck in an emergency or emergency situation, make sure that there is complete teamwork, okay? And do not keep your work to the last moment, which we often do in normal other business competitions. I have been participating in many competitions and I keep things for the last hour. So for this one, don't do this, please. So yeah.
Hello ma'am, my name is Khondokar Jami. I am from Department of Economics, University of Dhaka. So my question is, in the slide of collecting sources and references, you mentioned the Economist, but as far as I know, Economist is an UK-based news agency. But sir, in the earlier session, said that any news agency's information cannot be taken as a source. So is it valid to take the Economist as a source in our presentation?
Like I said, it depends on how you use it, how you're using the information. Sometimes newspapers just report what happened. Inflation is 10%, 15%. Sometimes you just report it. It's totally up to you how you present it or how you use it. But for actual stuff, you should use it from reports.
And to add to what Arif said, it's like in the newspaper, like even in Daily Star, Dhaka Tribune, they jot down those stuff from the research papers. So you will always have to verify whether this was actually jotted down from those particular articles. So it makes it easier for you to look for things. Like if you go into the Economist website, you can see the author. He referenced some articles or papers. So you could go to those papers, verify if your data is right or wrong. Then you go with it. Whether should I go or not? That's it.
Like our topic was inflation, so we had to use newspapers to report how much inflation was there currently at the economy last year.
I'm Raisa from Northern University. I wanted to ask, how did you identify the root causes instead of just symptoms?
Sorry, can you repeat instead of?
How did you identify the root causes instead of just symptoms?
That's actually a good question. Symptoms are part of, like, symptoms gives you a cue to what's happening. Like, the economy suffering from high interest rates, inflation, unemployment rates are high. So these are symptoms. And you, for the root causes, that's when you have to research and research a lot. And not just research, to cherry pick the actual root cause. There are a lot of other side factors that may, like, accelerate the symptoms, but for the root causes, you need just to simplify it. Keep it simple.
And another good thing you can do is, like, if you're a team of 4, divide your team into 2 people on this topic, 2 on those, and get in a game between you two, so that you can actually verify or give an evaluation, like, is this policy feasible or not. In that way, you can cancel out the policies which are least feasible and go on with those which is the best fit for your case.
And give the impact, like inflation or unemployment. These are very general, in detail, broad concepts, right? Give an analysis, give an impact of how this is causing a problem in the economy, how it's affecting people, how it is affecting the rural areas, how it is affecting those who are unemployed, their living standards. So narrow it down to specific problems. So I guess you have your answer.
May I ask one more question?
Yeah, of course.
What would you do differently if you were competing against her?
That's a very interesting question. I wish we could participate this time as well, but we aren't allowed to, I guess. So, what would we do differently? I think we would.
Secret welcome.
And we would really work on our slides, because from the first, we all won EconProdigy on our first year. So from that time till now, we have, like, learned a lot through these technical skills, and also work on our slides a lot. And we would, like, read more and more articles, because from that time, due to coursework or any other ways, we have been attached to reading articles, newspapers, and everything. So back then, our knowledge, I would say, it was like a drain, and now I could say, like, it is like this whole auditorium.
And if I had to add another thing, that is, if we were given the opportunity to work again, we would start working from the instant we got the case, not waste time, because again, it's policy competition. You have to research, and yeah, I guess that's all. I think we are done taking the questions. We are really falling short.
Any other questions? Any more? Let's take 1 or 2 more.
I think we should end it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Team Crackonomics, for that inspiring and heartfelt message. It truly shows how passion, teamwork, and perseverance can lend to remarkable achievement. Now, dear participants, our speaker has been talking tirelessly for a really long time now. To extend gratitude for their unwavering support, we would like to give them a token of appreciation. I would like to call upon stage our President, Ms. Afsana Ahmed Apu, to present the award, to present the crest. Now I would like to request Yusuf Sadat sir to come up on stage and receive his crest as a token of appreciation.
Now, as our champion team from the last year's iteration of EconProdigy also have been speaking tirelessly for this entire session, we would like to call our General Secretary, Minhajur Rahman Bhaiya, for giving the award to Rami Kasmi.